The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are simply that, opinions. All are presumed innocent until proven otherwise in a court of law. Sensitive topics are discussed. Discretion is advised.
This week, the case against Brian Walshe took sharp turns. A secret relationship, undelivered texts, blood evidence, and a defense team suddenly with no witnesses left to call. Let's break down week 2 of the disappearance of Anna Walshe murder trial. The state calls William Fastow, the D.C. real estate agent who became Anna's confidant and later her lover. He says they spoke daily, saw each other several times a week, and made plans to celebrate New Year's on January 4th. Plans that never happened. Fastow says Anna was struggling, Brian's legal issues, his depression, and a marriage she felt couldn't move forward.
Were you familiar with Anna Walshe and Brian Walshe?
Yes.
And how did you meet the Walshes?
Anna Walshe was referred to me by a mutual friend, Jem Mutlow. They were looking for a home in the D.C. area, and I assisted them in purchasing a townhome in Chevy Chase, D.C.
And did you know Anna or Brian Walshe before that?
I did not.
And where was that property located generally?
It was on 43rd Street in Northwest D.C.
And you said it was a townhome?
That's correct.
Can you just describe that townhome?
So it was a semi-attached townhome. One side of it faced on 43rd Street. It had a staircase that led up to a parlor level. It was 4 floors and had a 2-car garage underneath.
And who bought the home?
Anna Walshe.
And was the deed in her name?
I believe so.
And when did Anna close on that property?
March of 2022.
And did you meet Anna in person?
Yes.
Had you ever met Brian Walshe in person?
No, I have not.
Did you ever speak with Brian Walshe?
Yes, we had at least one, if not a few, teleconference calls to discuss the property.
So after you sold the townhome to Anna Walshe, did you have further contact with her?
I did.
And when was your initial contact with her after you sold her the home?
Immediately.
And what was your initial relationship?
We quickly became close friends, then confidants, and before long we started an intimate relationship.
Tell me about the types of things that you and Anna did in the course of your relationship.
We would go out to dinner, go to bars. She would accompany me to functions. I have a boat in Annapolis. She would come sailing with me. We did a couple of fitness dates together, see movies, those sorts of things.
So how often would you see Anna Walshe in the course of your relationship?
Typically 2 to 3 times a week.
And would you see each other on the weekends?
Yes, when she was in Washington.
And how often would you and Anna communicate once your relationship became intimate?
Pretty much daily.
And did you and Anna have plans for Christmas Eve?
Yes.
And what did you do for Christmas Eve?
We drove out to Annapolis to have dinner with friends of mine.
And what did you do on Christmas morning?
It had snowed the night before, so Anna's flight had been delayed or canceled. She left because I was taking custody of my children either later that day or the next day in anticipation of taking a winter vacation with them.
Do you know where Anna went on Christmas Day?
She eventually ended up driving back to Massachusetts.
And, I'm sorry?
I didn't say anything.
Oh, sorry. So she went to Massachusetts to Cohasset?
Yes, I believe so.
Did you and Anna discuss how Brian Walshe reacted to Anna not being in Cohasset on Christmas Eve and getting there later on Christmas Day?
She told me that they had an argument about it, and there were some points of contention.
Did you and Anna discuss any stressors about that, or any stressors in her marriage to Brian?
The biggest stressor was his inability to resolve his criminal case, and the fact that because of that, she couldn't be with her children and bring them back to Washington, D.C., and the fact that it felt like it was holding up her life.
Did you have plans to celebrate New Year's with Anna?
I did.
And when did you make those plans?
When I was in Idaho and she was in Cohasset.
And what were your plans for? When were your plans for?
Our plans were to have dinner on January 4th to celebrate New Year's and discuss our 1, 3, 5, and 10-year plans.
And what had you and Anna discussed about your future together?
We'd had a number of conversations about what a life together might look like, what merging two families would look like, how that might work. But I had always said to Anna that she needed to figure out how she wanted things to be with Brian and what she wanted to look like for her life before, we could make any sort of commitments or decisions.
And did you have dinner reservations for January 4th?
I did.
Did you have dinner on January 4th?
I did not.
Have you seen Anna Walshe since December 25th of 2022?
I have not.
Trooper Connor Keefe breaks down the final messages. Christmas Day, Brian texts, Thomas asked if you were coming. Anna responds, my flight got canceled driving up. After that, nothing from her. January 2nd to January 4th, Brian's texts stack up. Where are you? I'm worried. None of them are delivered. The state says her phone was already offline.
Trooper, do you recognize that report I've just handed to you?
Yes, sir.
And have you had a chance to review that report before coming in here today?
Yes.
Is that a redacted version of what's been marked for identification I with some images blurred out?
Yes.
And so that would be a collection of text messages between the number identified for Brian Walshe and the number identified for Anna as far as contacts. Is that correct?
That is correct.
What are the last 4 digits of the Brian Walshe number?
The last 4 is 8646,
And what are the last digits for Anna New?
7966.
Trooper, directing your attention to the first text on the page, which phone number is, what are the last 4 digits of the phone number sending this text message?
8646.
What is the body of the text?
Hello.
And what is the date and time it was delivered?
December 25th, 2022 at 11:53 a.m.
And Ms. Gilman, could you scroll down to the next 2 texts? Trooper, which number is sending this text?
The number ending in 8646.
And what is the body of this?
Thomas asked if you were coming today.
And what was the date and time it was delivered?
December 25th, 2022 at 11:53 a.m.
And then if you could scroll down, Ms. Gilman. Thank you. Trooper, which number sent this next text in the chain?
The number ending in 8646.
And what is the body of it?
I haven't heard from you at all.
And what is the date and time it was delivered?
December 25th, 2022 at 11:54 a.m.
Now, could you, Ms. Gilman, scroll down to the next text in that chain? Trooper, which number is sending this message?
The number ending in 7966.
And what is the body of this text?
My flight got canceled driving up.
And what was the date and time it was read?
December 25th, 2022 at 12:57 p.m.
Trooper, which phone is sending this message?
The number ending in 8646.
And what is the body of it?
Hello, Thomas found the phone playing on William's bed. William said he forgot it was there. Ha ha ha. Okay, call anytime.
What is the date and time? Now, this doesn't say delivered, correct? Or is there a time when it was delivered?
It does not say, sir.
What is the date and time in the bottom corner of the text?
January 2nd, 2023 at 2:33 p.m.
And so, sir, if there's no delivered, what does that mean?
I don't believe it was ever delivered to the intended recipient.
But there's a date and time. Is that when the text was written?
In the bottom right,
Yes,
that's when it was sent.
that was when it was sent, because there's a status saying sent.
Correct.
Okay. Can we scroll down to the next text? Trooper, which phone number is sending this?
The number ending in 8646.
Could you read the body of this?
Hello, where are you? Please call, text, or email. Exhausting day with the boys, and we had fun. Going to bed early. Big day tomorrow for everyone. I still love you. Ha ha ha.
And what is the date and time in the bottom?
January 2nd, 2023, 7:18 p.m.
And does this note if it was delivered?
It does not.
Could we have the next text? Which number sent this?
The number ending in 8646.
And what is the body of it?
Where are you?
And what is the date and time of this?
January 3rd, 2023, 6:39 a.m.
And this has a status of sent?
Yes.
Could we have the next message? Which number sent this?
The number ending in 8646.
And what is the body of it?
I'm worried. Please call or email.
And what time was this sent?
January 3rd, 2023, 6:39 a.m.
What is the phone number that sent this?
The number ending in 8646.
And what is the body of that?
Where are you?
And what is the date and time that was sent?
January 4th, 2023 at 10:14 a.m.
For the messages on January 2nd through January 4th of 2023, does any of the messages denote that they were delivered?
It does not appear that.
Forensic pathologist Dr. Atkinson describes a carpet from the trash, stains, clots of blood, and a Gucci charm embedded in the fibers. Anna's HR director then confirms there was no work emergency in D.C. on January 1st, the excuse Brian gave to explain her disappearance. In Cohasset, criminalist Matthew Sheehan searches the home, hydrogen peroxide, a knife testing positive for blood, and tools from the trash bags. 10 snips, a hacksaw, a hammer, all testing positive for blood.
Directing your attention to what's been marked as Exhibit 183, what observations did you make of this carpet while it was being unrolled?
I observed the same types of red-brown stains on the carpet. There were also more areas of clotted blood, and there were also areas with white, clumpy, powdery substance.
What is the ruler next to?
Just above the ruler, you can see a metal item that has a loop on one side. It appeared to me to be some sort of jewelry charm without a chain attached.
Doctor, is this the photographing of the piece of metal that you spoke of?
Yes. There was an engraving of Gucci on one side.
When did you first learn that Anna Walshe was missing?
January 4th.
And how were you alerted that Miss Walshe was missing?
A coworker came over to let me know that her husband had called the crossing team looking for her. I said, I'll reach out to him. Do you have a phone number?
Now, he said he was looking for it. Did he say why he was looking for her in Washington?
Yes. He had said that there was a building emergency that she was called back for.
Were there any building emergencies in Washington, D.C. for the properties that Anna was managing at this point in time in January of 2023?
January of 2020, that date?
Well, between January 1st and January 4th of 2023.
I can confirm on January 1st there was not.
Okay.
I'm not sure about
All right.
second, third, fourth.
So, but there were no emergencies on January 1st.
Correct.
Where did you respond on January 8th of 2023 at approximately 8:52 a.m.?
It was around 8:45 a.m. It was 516 Chief Justice Cushing Highway in Cohasset.
So where did you begin your work that day?
I began work in the kitchen area on the first floor.
So what were your observations of the kitchen area?
It was clean overall. When looking through the kitchen, we did find a couple bottles of hydrogen peroxide as well as a knife in a kitchen cabinet above the refrigerator. The screening test for blood was positive on this blade.
And what was item 7-9?
7-9 was a pair of tin snips. There was no visible staining on the blades, so I did the screening tests for blood, and the on the blades was positive.
What was 7-10?
7-10 was a hacksaw. The tests were positive, confirming the presence of blood.
What test did you do on the hammer?
I did the screening test for blood on the hammerhead and face area.
What were the results?
Screening test for blood was positive on the hammer face.
The Court TV podcast will return.
Prosecutors connect the dots: the rug, the cleaned kitchen, the blood-stained tools. The state says this was not panic, this was a deliberate cleanup.
You would agree, wouldn't you, with me, Mr. Sheehan, that throughout the home that was searched in Cohasset, that not only was there certain items seized that may have been opened, for instance, bottles or containers found in the basement, but there was also items that appeared to be never opened or ever used, correct?
In regards to what bottles? What bottles are you talking about?
Well, I'm actually talking about some of the cleaning items that were located in the basement, the mops, brooms, buckets, pails, some of those having the label of Lowe's. They didn't appear to have been used for any reason.
Correct.
And so, if you recall, you testified yesterday about a cabinet that was up above the refrigerator in the kitchen, and you said that in that cabinet there was a knife and also a bottle of hydrogen peroxide, correct?
Correct.
And was that hydrogen peroxide that was found in that cabinet up in the kitchen above the refrigerator, had that been opened?
Not that I recall.
Okay. So it's fair to say, without going down an exhaustive list, that there were numerous items found in Cohasset that had apparently never been used for any purpose. They were still, in, for lack of a better phrase, brand new, unused condition.
From what I recall, but I didn't specifically look at each and every item.
Okay. It's fair to say that in no report that you wrote did you ever use the phrase blood spatter or anything similar to blood splatter, correct?
Correct.
And so it's fair to say that you did not determine that what you saw anywhere in the house was indicative of blood spatter evidence, correct?
That is correct.
I want to ask you about item 9-27.2.1. What is that item, ma'am?
Do you mind if I look at my notes?
You may look at your notes.
Thank you. That is a sample of an interior of dark gray slippers found in bag number 4 at 300 Forest Street.
And what was the DNA profile result for this item?
This DNA profile was interpreted as a mixture of 3 contributors, including male DNA.
And were you able to come to a conclusion about the comparison to the known profile of Anna Walshe?
Yes. The DNA profile from this item is at least 270 million times more likely if it originated from Anna Walshe and 2 unknown individuals than if it originated from 3 unknown, unrelated individuals. This provides support for an inclusion of Anna Walshe to this profile.
What is item 9-32.1.1?
That is a sample of an interior sleeve cuff of a Tyvek suit that was found in bag number 6 at 300 Forest Street.
And what was the DNA profile result for this item?
The DNA profile for this item was interpreted as a mixture of 3 contributors, including male DNA.
Were you able to come to a conclusion about the comparison to the known profile of Anna Walshe?
The DNA profile from this item is at least 4.8 nonillion times more likely if it originated from Anna Walshe and 2 unknown individuals than if it originated from 3 unknown unrelated individuals, and this provides support for an inclusion.
And were you able to come to a conclusion about the comparison to the known profile of Brian Walshe?
Yes, the DNA profile from this item is at least 100 trillion times more likely if it originated from Brian Walshe and 2 unknown individuals than if it originated from 3 unknown unrelated individuals.
What is item 16-13.1?
This was an unknown tissue that recovered from the Swampscott dumpster.
And what was the DNA profile result for this item?
This was a female DNA profile originating from a single contributor.
And were you able to come to a conclusion about the comparison to the known profile of Anna Walshe?
The DNA profile from this item is at least 30 nonillion times more likely if it originated from Anna Walshe than if it originated from an unknown, unrelated individual.
What is item 7-10.3.1?
This was a sample of stained area C on the blade of a hacksaw, placard number 8, 300 Forest Street.
And what was the DNA profile result for this item?
For this item, a female DNA profile was obtained originating from a single contributor.
And were you able to come to a conclusion about the comparison to the known profile of Anna Walshe?
The DNA profile from this item is at least 30 nonillion times more likely if it originated from Anna Walshe than if it originated from an unknown, unrelated individual, and this provides support for inclusion of Anna Walshe to this DNA profile.
What is item 9-22.1.1?
That is sample from stain A on a white towel, number 1, with red-brown stains on it that was found in bag number 2 at 300 Forest Street.
And what was the DNA profile result for this item?
There was a female DNA profile observed originating from a single contributor.
And were you able to come to a conclusion about the comparison to the known profile of Anna Walshe?
The DNA profile from this item is at least 30 nonillion times more likely if it originated from Anna Walshe than from an unknown, unrelated individual. This provides support for inclusion of Anna Walshe to this DNA profile.
What was item 9-20.1?
That was sample from stain A on tape with apparent gauze with red-brown stains on it, found in bag number 2 at 300 Forest Street.
And what was the DNA profile result for this item?
There was a male DNA profile obtained on this item originating from a single contributor.
And were you able to come to a conclusion about the comparison to the known profile of Anna Walshe?
Anna Walshe was excluded from this DNA profile.
And were you able to come to a conclusion about the comparison to the known profile of Brian Walshe?
The DNA profile is at least 23 octillion times more likely if it originated from Brian Walshe than if it originated from an unknown, unrelated individual, and this provides support that Brian Walshe is included as a contributor to this DNA profile.
The state calls 2 more key witnesses. Jim Mutlu, a family friend. He spent New Year's Eve with the Walshes. Anna seemed happy, no arguments, no signs of trouble. Days later, Brian calls him, calmly claiming Anna is missing. And Alyssa Kirby, Anna's best friend, Anna told her the marriage was strained, no intimacy in over a year. Brian's depression, and a psychic who told his mother Anna was having an affair, a claim Anna felt was scary.
Were there any investment properties that your team was able to sell for Anna Walshe?
Yes,
Where was that property?
in Revere.
And do you remember when that sale occurred?
Well, that sale would have closed on December 29th or just a day or so before because I called her on the 29th.
During this conversation, what plans were made for New Year's Eve?
She specifically told me, she said, I know you. You're not going to go anywhere for New Year's Eve. You're just going to stay at home. please, please come and spend New Year's with us.
Did you agree to?
I did.
Tell us what happened when you got there at the Walshe house.
Anna came running out of the house to greet me.
What problems did you see between the two of them that night?
None.
When is the next time you spoke to Brian Walshe on the phone?
It was a Wednesday morning, and he said, "Have you heard from Anna? Anna's been missing." And I said, "How could she be missing?" And he said that she left that morning. He said that she had a work emergency. So I said, "What work emergency could there have been on New Year's Eve?" I said, "Listen, did you guys have an argument or something? Did you have a fight?" His response was, "No. Did it look like we had an argument? You were there." I didn't know what to make of it. I was in shock. So, I said, "You've got to call the police." His tone was not panicked.
Since you left the home on New Year's Day of 2023, have you seen Anna Walshe?
No.
Have you heard from her?
No.
In Christmas of 2022, did you have communication with Brian Walshe on that day?
Yes, he was looking for Anna because he said he hadn't heard from her.
Did you speak with Anna Walshe that day on Christmas Day?
Yes, she was angry and she was upset that Brian would have called me that day because, she said that she'd only not spoken to him for like an hour and a half or 2 hours, that it really hadn't been that long.
What, if anything, did she tell you about her intimate relationship with Brian Walshe?
She told me that, aside from everything being really difficult, that they had not been intimate in a really long time, like maybe over a year, I think she had said. She said it was because that Brian had been really depressed and that the strain of the case had really just taken a toll on his mental health and their marriage.
Ms. Kirby, in this conversation on December 29th, what did she tell you about Brian and his mother and a psychic?
She told me that Brian had told her that his mom went to a psychic and that the psychic had said that she was having an affair. And that night she told me how ridiculous that was. She'd always felt that Brian's mom didn't like her and that it was scary.
Now, back to the Court TV podcast.
On day 9, the trial takes an unexpected turn. Brian Walshe, who just yesterday said he would testify, tells the court he will not take the stand. And then the defense rests without calling a single witness.
At the close of yesterday's day, the defense raised with me what I have listed as 5 separate issues that it wanted to alert the court to with regard to the expected testimony of Mr. Walshe today. As an initial matter, does the defense still intend to call Mr. Walshe today?
We do not.
You do not? All right. Does that moot every issue that I researched last night?
I apologize, Judge.
No, I just want to make sure that the 5 issues that you raised and the issue with regard to the plea are no longer on the table. All right. I will conduct a colloquy with the defendant then now, and my intention is the defense intend to call any other witnesses.
We are not.
All right, then we'll close tomorrow. We'll do the charge conference immediately after the rest of the day.
Mr. Walshe, if you could stand and raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you shall give in the cause now in hearing to be the truth, and that you shall give all true answers to all questions as put to you by the court in the cause now in hearing? So help you God.
I do.
Thank you.
Excuse me.
You can be seated. Mr. Walshe, one important decision that all defendants in every criminal trial need to make is whether or not they're going to testify in a particular case. You have an absolute right to testify at this trial, and your right whether or not to testify is solely your decision. This means that you are not required to take your attorney's advice. I'm sure that your attorneys, Attorney Tipton and Attorney Porges, have told you that if you do testify, the Commonwealth has the right to cross-examine you, that is, the right to ask you questions. If you do not testify, and you and your attorney request me to do so, during my final instructions to the jury in the law on this case tomorrow, I will tell the jury that you, like all persons charged with a crime, have the right not to testify, and that the jurors may not speculate about your decision not to testify. First, I'm going to ask you some preliminary questions. Sir, in the last 24 hours, have you had any alcohol or alcoholic beverages?
No, I have not.
In the last 24 hours, have you taken any prescription medicines?
I have not.
In the last 24 hours, have you consumed any legal or illegal substances?
I have not.
Is your mind clear here today?
It is.
Tell me in your own words, what are we discussing?
Whether I'll testify or not in my trial.
Right? Have you discussed with your attorneys the decision about whether or not to testify in this trial?
I have.
And have you had enough time to discuss your decision with your attorneys?
Yes, I have.
Have your attorneys discussed with you the pros and cons of testifying and not testifying?
Yes, they have.
And do you understand what your attorneys explained to you about your right to testify?
Yes.
Has anyone threatened you or promised you anything to get you to give up your right to testify on your own behalf?
No.
Have you made a decision about whether you wish to testify at this trial?
Yes, I have.
And what is your decision?
I will not testify.
Does any party wish me to ask any further questions before I make my findings?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
I find that the defendant, Brian Walshe, freely, voluntarily, knowingly, and intelligently has waived his right to testify at this criminal trial, and that he's done so with the knowledge of its consequences. I accept his decision. Does the defense wish to call any witnesses in this case?
We do not, Judge.
Defense rests?
Defense rests.
Secret relationships, undelivered texts, blood in the home, and a New Year celebration that now feels like a farewell.
What could happen to a loving father and a loving husband? Government suggests it was an affair. There's no proof of that. There's no proof that Brian Walshe knew anything about an affair. Money? Money that the family had worked together for years and continued to talk about in text messages and the sales of property, trying to protect the assets for the benefit of the whole family and the future of their 3 children. A motive? There's no evidence. There's evidence that he lied to the police. There's evidence that he searched the internet. There's evidence that he disposed of a body. But there is no proof in all of the evidence that you have heard and been presented that he ever once thought about harming the woman he loved. That he ever thought about harming the woman he loved. That he ever planned to harm. That he ever intended to harm. Then the searches become darker. They become more upsetting. Now the thought is dismemberment. And there's searches like that. You've heard about them. You'll read about them. And then you see searches that cover days, and their searches about cleaning, and their searches about how to clean up. You'll read them. And even though they don't talk about murder, they are equally upsetting because you're thinking, as jurors in this case, he's thinking about cleaning up the basement. He's thinking about how you clean a concrete floor. Context. 1,034 pages of digital data, 3,667 records taken from his MacBook. Not one record, not one page refers to any plan. Not one record, not one page refers to any intent to kill. Nothing. So keep it in context when you review that exhibit and those searches, and ask yourself, why is a man searching now if he had intended to kill his wife? Why is the man searching now if he had planned to kill his wife? Mr. Walsh loved Anna Walsh, the mother of his 3 children. There's no evidence that he deliberately premeditated a murder. There's no evidence that he ever intended to kill Anna Walsh. None whatsoever.
Anna Walsh is dead. Anna Walsh is dead because he murdered her, and he intended her death. Anna Walsh is not missing. She never walked out of her Cohasset home on January 1st of 2023 between 6 and 7 a.m. to take an Uber to Logan Airport. She wasn't going to D.C. for a work emergency. There was no emergency. She didn't say goodbye to her son. That's just a story that the defendant told people. This defendant caused Anna's death. And the evidence does show you that. The evidence shows you that Anna didn't die of natural causes, but that Anna died a violent death in her Cohasset home on January 1st. And there are 2 bloody white towels. A towel was tested and had Anna's DNA. Why did the defendant throw those items out? Because they had Anna's blood on them. And the evidence shows you this, because the defendant was researching cleaning. How to clean blood from what floors? Does the dishwasher clean blood? Is it possible to clean DNA off a knife? The defendant still had a cut on his thumb on January 9th, 2023. The defendant did not want anyone to find Anna's body and to know how she died. So the defendant bought cutting tools at Lowe's and Home Depot, and he cut up Anna's body, the woman that he claimed to love, and he threw her into dumpsters. The defendant pretended. He lulled Anna into thinking that everything was okay. He joked with her about a Porsche. He didn't want her to realize that he was aware of the relationship with Will or her ability to leave him. He wasn't going to let Anna know that she wasn't safe. On December 31st of 2022, the defendant claimed that he could not find his phone. Why is that important? The mislaid phone allowed the defendant to be unavailable for 2 days. The mislaid phone allowed him to carry out his plan uninterrupted. And the mislaid phone allowed him to show the police, when he eventually reports Anna as a missing person, and not have the police question why he didn't contact Anna earlier. Anna was dead. The defendant killed her, and he began researching how to get her money, how to inherit, how to get away with the crime. The defendant set up an area in his basement where he surrounded it with plastic sheeting or a tie-back suit and dismembered his wife, the love of his life.
Mr. Foreperson, in the matter of the Commonwealth versus Brian Walsh, Norfolk Superior Court Criminal Indictment Number 2023-0091. As to count 1, wherein the defendant Brian Walsh is charged with murder in the first degree, what say the jury? Is the defendant guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Guilty of what, sir?
Murder in the first degree.
Murder in the first degree. So say you, Mr. Foreperson.
I do.
Today, the jury delivered its decision, Brian Walsh guilty of murder. After weeks of testimony, the searches, the tools, the texts, and the final hours of Anna Walsh's life, the jury found the state's evidence undeniable. For Anna's family, it is a measure of justice, but it will never replace the mother, the friend, the woman they lost. And with that, I'm Cody Thomas. Stay safe, stay informed, and join me next time we go back on the record.
This podcast is a production of Court TV. Go to CourtTV.com for more content, trials on demand, and to find out how to watch Court TV in your area.